Advantages of manure over fertilizers are as following. It enhances the water holding capacity as it have more humus. It enhances the water holding capacity, and it makes soil porous, due to which gases exchange of gases oxygen and carbon dioxide becomes easy, and it increases the number of friendly microbes. That is, friendly microbes are nothing but which helps in growth of plants. As I said, rhizobium is one of the friendly microbes. There are harmful microbes which can also spread disease to plants, but the manure helps the growth of friendly microbes, and it improves the texture of soil as it has good nutrients, and also it has humus. It improves the texture of soil. Irrigation is simply said or explained as supply of water to the plants with the uh, in the form of sprinklers or drip irrigation, etc. As we know, different crops need different water quantity. For example, the growth of paddy needs huge amount of water. You can see the paddy fields filled with stagnant water every time. But when we compare it with the cotton requires very less water. It requires more sunlight or winter season to for its growth. Cotton requires less water. So based on the different crops, the water or irrigation should be maintained. So irrigation helps in maintaining the level of water in plants. As plants contain nearly 90% of water, the irrigation helps in maintaining water balance. And also it helps in germination. You can see seeds only germinate when they have water content. When the seeds are dried and kept in an bottle, they will not germinate. And nutrient transportation, as water is absorbed through roots, the minerals and other nutrients will pass through roots with the help of water. Without water, there is no nutrient transportation throughout the plants. Protection of plants from frost and heat. Frost means the cold conditions, and the heat, as we know, water is required to protect plants and ourselves from heat condition. The supply of water to crops at regular intervals is called irrigation. The time and frequency, as I said, varies from crop to crop and soil to soil, season to season. The sources of irrigation. The sources of water are from wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, dams, and canals. One activity you can do by yourself to know the sources of irrigation in your local area. If you are in urban areas, it would be more of tube wells, and if you are in a region where the dams are near, you can see the sources of water from dams and canals, and some of them use ponds as their water source, who use paddy fields and all. You can have an activity to list out which region have a water source of irrigation for its agriculture. Either it is well, tube wells, or other sources like dams and canals. You can see varied regions like the backwaters region like Shivamogga and others in Karnataka use dams and canals, whereas the parts of Chikmagaluru, Madikeri use wells, tube wells for their source of water. Ponds are used in many parts of Karnataka, including Mandya, Mysuru, and they all also depend on dams and canals. So you can list out the regions and know the sources of irrigation based on the availability of water. There are different types of irrigation methods. Moat is nothing but you pump out or take out the water manually from the well and flow it throughout the field. Chain pump is manual, as well as it can be done through animals. We can see that there is a can attached to a wheel where it pumps the water from the depths, and it can be flown to the agricultural fields. Dhekli uses a weight of stone or other material from one side, and the other side it will be tied to a bucket or any pot which will be sent into well. When it is lifted up, this stone is lifted up, the bucket goes down and extracts water, and to the weight of stone, when it comes back, the water is taken up and it can be used to spread all over the field. And this is like a garden or oil mill, where the cattle will go round and round, which creates a circular motion in this wheel, and it pumps the water from this source of water to the agricultural fields. These are the traditional methods of irrigation. The advanced methods or the methods used in present scenario are sprinkler system and drip system. Sprinkler system has a pump and it will be connected to many sprinklers. Those sprinklers will what share the or spread the water in a sprinkler system. It requires more water, whereas drip system will be connected to a pipe. Those pipes will have small holes at the bottom of plants, and this pump will put the water into those drips, where drop by drop the water will be supplied to plant roots directly. In this system, it requires less water when compared to sprinkler system, and it is more effective and efficient when compared to other system. So you can also see which system is used for irrigation in agriculture fields near your vicinity. So you can know more about this chapter when you observe the surrounding around you. So protection of weeds. When we grow plants, we provide nutrients through manuring. When we provide water through irrigation, it is natural for the weeds to grow. Weeds are the useless plants or plants other than crops which do not give the yield same as the crop. So these should be removed because weeds will compete with the plants or crops, and it will interfere with the growth of plants because they will absorb all the nutrients, all the water, and the crop which are growing will be depleted by that. If you have one chocolate and you are eating that, if weeds or any other person comes and asks or takes your chocolate, you will left out with no chocolate to eat. Same thing happens in weeds. When weeds grow, it will be competitive with the plants and they will not allow the crops to grow. So removal of weeds is important, and the removal of weeds is called weeding. As weeds are competitive, interfere with harvesting. When you are harvesting the crop, the weeds may come with it, and it reduces the crop quality. If there is no crop quality, a farmer grows to the market, there will be reduction in price. The market men say your crop quality is not good, you will get lesser price. So to maintain the crop quality, the weeding is important. And some weeds may be poisonous, as many plants are poisonous or can be toxic. The weeds should be taken out. This can be done by tilling, that is using mechanical means tilling, or manual removal. You can see the uprooting of weeds manually from the farmers. Weedicides like 2,4-D can be used. There are many weedicides. Weedicides are the chemicals which will kill the weeds but not the crops. These can be sprayed in the fields and kill the weeds. This tilling, manual removal, or any method you use to remove weed should be done before flowering and seed formation. This is because if the seed formation is completed in weed or the flowering is completed in weed, if you remove that weed, there is no use because the seeds will be dispersed all around when you remove the weed. And when the seeds are dispersed, when you remove the weed, they will grow again, as there are seeds to grow again. So before flowering and seed formation, if you remove the weed, there will be effective management of weeds. There will be no growth of weeds again. So harvesting of crops is nothing but cutting off crop after its maturation. After certain period of time, we will get a crop. When we grow a paddy, we can see a paddy straw and husk which has rice in it. It usually takes, depending on the crop, it usually takes 3 to 4 months for a cereal crop to mature. Whereas when you see papaya, it takes 9 months. Vegetables take different time, and other crops like economical crops like areca nut, coffee take different times to mature and give a yield. So the harvesting will be followed by the fruits what we get or the yield what we get. Harvesting in our country is either done manually by sickle or by machine called harvester. In coming slide, I will show the machines which are used for harvesting. Before that, we will discuss about threshing. Threshing is process of separating seed from chaff. If you seed wheat or uh, paddy, you can see that seeds are embedded within husk or chaff. They are separated by threshing. It is done. It can be done manually, or there are threshing machines. Farmers with small holdings of land do separation of grain chaff by winnowing. Winnowing is done by winnower. These are the diagrams. This is a combine which is used in paddy fields to harvest the rice of large fields. You can see it can cover a large amount of ground, and hence it is helpful in removing the plants. Winnowing will separate the shaft from the husk or the seeds, and we will get the grains uh, which can be marketed. There is a small section in your textbook that are harvest festivals. You can list out the harvest festivals in your local. In Karnataka, they will call it as Suggi Habba or Hosaki Habba. In Kerala, it can be called as Pongal, and Diwali is also a harvest festival. You can list out, or you can ask your parents, localites, your friends, what are the harvest festivals which are celebrated in your region. So going next, we will discuss about storage. Storage is nothing but making crops available for longer period of time. Just procuring crops and eating them will not be sufficient throughout the year. That crop which we have procured should uh, live long till throughout the year. As we get different seasons, we cannot go again and again to procure the fruit or go for agriculture. So the storage becomes important to make food available throughout the seasons and for longer period of time. Large scale storage of grains is done in silos. Silos is nothing but storage godowns and granaries to protect them from pests like rats and insects. As like us, rats and insects also depend on the plant products for their food. They will attack these food items. So those should be avoided by completely sealing silos and granaries. Dried neem leaves are used in your households to avoid rats and all. Chemical treatments or pesticides are used in large scale, that in industries or godowns, to avoid pests and microorganisms. To maintain the food from spoilage, the reduction of microorganism is important process which you will study in coming chapters. So food from animals involve many people living in coastal areas consume fish. As you know, many of them will consume chicken or pig, that is pork. Animals are reared at home or in farms, and those rearing and proper maintenance requires food, shelter, and care. And This process of growing animals for the production of food is called animal husbandry. There are many types of animals grown, cattle grown for the milk, hens grown for the eggs and meat, bees are grown for the honey bees are grown for the procurement of honey. So different animals, insects, birds are grown for production of food. This comes under animal husbandry, which you will study in further classes. So this ends the lesson, crop production and management. Thank you for hearing this presentation. Hope it helps your understanding. And if you like this presentation, please like and share to your friends, and please subscribe Akshara Alaya channel. Thank you.